The Mishnah on the bottom of Amud Beis. Beishamai oimrim tinasei v'tital ksubasa. In all the cases in which we've been discussing, that woman gives eidos, gives testimony that her husband has died overseas, says Beishamai that when they allow the woman to get remarried based on her own words, what is the halacha? Tinasei v'tital tu ksubasa. Full-fledged, she gets her ksuba from her previous husband's estate. Beishamai said to Beisil, I don't understand. What are you talking about? You're going to allow her to get remarried. Ervo, which is so chamer. But with regard to mere monetary value, with regard to mere money, you're not going to let them get remarried. You're not going to let her collect her ksuba. Responded to Beisil, Matzina, we find. So we turn over to Kufi Zayin and Aleph Shein Acham Nechnas LeNachla Al Piyah. Says Beisil, we find a different halacha. We find the halacha that the brothers of the dead husband do not go in and collect their inheritance based on her word. So once we see that it's not, she does not have a believability with regard to mammon, it's regard to monetary matters, it's not a problem. Beishamai responds, V'aloi Misvar Ksuva Nilmad. But the from the words of the ksuba itself, we shall learn that what? What does the husband write to her originally when they got married? What does it say in the ksuba? It's read fast at every chasana. That if you marry someone else, you get the ksuba. So says Beishamai, we see clearly that whenever there's going to be an allowance for her to get remarried, she has to be allowed to get a ksuba. Says the Mishnah of Chazru Beisil, here is Kedivri Beishamai, a rare occurrence, but Beisil folds and goes and holds like Beishamai. Says the Gemara, let's go into this din of the Inan Achan Nechnas LeNachla Al Piyah. Amar Rav Chisda Nisyama Yevama Nichnes LeNachla Al Piyah. If she does Yibum, says Rav Chisda, meaning she gives a testimony that her husband died, then she goes and she does Yibum, then Yevama, the Yavam, the one that does Yibum, is yes allowed to enter into the Nachla and collect the brother's dead estate inheritance based on her word. Heim Darshu Midrash Ksuba. Why? Because Beishamai learned up the words of the Ksuba, as we explained in the Mishnah. Anu, Loi Nidrash Mishnah Taira, Shez Rav Chisda, Beishamai could bring a proof from the wording of the Ksuba. We certainly should be able to bring a proof from the wording of the Torah itself. That what does the Torah say about Yibam? Yakum al Shem Achiv Amarachmana. The Torah says that you stand the name of the firstborn. Varikam, and he did that. So once he does Yibam, automatically part and parcel with Yibam is to get the inheritance. So says Rav Chisda, once Yibam is done, that brother would indeed inherit the dead brother's estate. Amar Rav Nachman Yavasa leBezdin va'amra. Says Rav Nachman, if a woman goes to Bezdin and says, "Meis b'ayli, my husband died," hitirune lina say, the husband says, she says, "My husband died. Allow me to get married." Matir naisel linase, v'nais like subas. But let's say she comes into Bezdin not saying, "My husband died. I want to get remarried." But rather, all she says is, "Tenuli ksubasi, give me my ksuba." Afli nasa in matir naisa. So then, in such a case, it's clear she just come to get some cash. We don't even let her to get married like usual. My taima daita the ksuba asai. The reason is she's certainly coming for the cash. So Yibayalu, based on the previous pretense that when she comes for money, she's not believed. Says, ask the Gemara, let's say she says both. Allow me to get remarried and give me my ksuba. Do we say Kivan Damar Ksuba Sadai the Ksuba Sai? Since she mentioned the Ksuba, must be that was her real das, and she just mentioned the marriage along with it, so she should not be believed. Or perhaps really he's coming to get remarried. But once he's talking to Bezdin, he tells Bezdin the whole story. And if you're going to tell me that anything that one wants to say, he says to Bezdin, what is the din in such a case in which she said, "My husband died, give me my ksuba, and allow me to get remarried"? Or maybe because she only mentioned the ksuba first. That's the problem. In this case, she said the wording backwards. She didn't say, let me get remarried, and then threw in the details she wants a ksuba. So this last case is changing a little bit. Here she first mentions the ksuba, then she throws in the marriage. So perhaps in that case, she's honing in and she's being revealed. She's revealing to us. She's really coming to the ksuba. Says the Gemara, Teiku, we're going to have to wait for Eliyahu Navi for that one. Continues the Mishnah, Kol Ne'amanim La'ida Chutz Mechamasai. Everyone is believed to give Eidos. These are the special kulas of Iguna. And we believe any singular person to give Eidos about a woman that her husband died, except for whom? Chamasai, the Heilige Shviger, the mother-in-law. Ubas Chamasai, and her mother-in-law's daughter. And the Mishnah, of course, will have to explain why both. Vitzarasa, her co-wife, Yevimta, and her Yevam's wife, Ubas Baila, and her stepdaughter. So ask the Gemara, but all these people are believed about a get. That's because there's the piece of paper that proves to you. And these are the whole list of the Chamisha Nashim that are signing that they hate the woman because they're either because you're in a competing fashion like the Tzara, or because of the mere fact, the daughter-in-law, the mother-in-law, etc. Says the Gemara, two of the cases that we listed in the Mishnah was mother-in-law, mother-in-law's daughter. So ask the Gemara, Yibaylu Bas Chamiya Ma'u. What about the daughter of the father-in-law? Time of the Bas Chamoysim Shamnika Eima Desanyala. He Nami Sanyala is the whole reason why the mother-in-law's daughter is included. Because just like her mother dislikes the daughter-in-law, so too Inami Sanyala, she as well does. But over here we're talking about the father-in-law, so you don't have that hatred. Maybe the reason why the daughter's mother-in-law is included because she thinks in her brain she's going to consume everything my mother makes. So too over here, maybe she should be concerned that this married woman is going to concern everything that her husband makes, and the father makes, So ask the Gemara, when the Mishnah said of mother-in-law's daughter, was that Davka? Or did that extend as well to other level of relationships like father-in-law's daughter? Says the Gemara, let's bring a raya, Toshama, about 10 lines from the white lines. Hakol ne'emanim lo'ida, chutz mechamisha nashim. V'misan, if we're saying is true, shitavon, there would be 6, the father-in-law's daughter. So from the fact that the Mishnah lists Davka 5, shows that the father-in-law's daughter is not included. Says the Gemara, no raya, don't the bais chamoisa, tamar kachlana legirsani devei nasai. Says the Gemara, the tzad that says she's not believed is a svara. Is a svara that the daughter of the mother-in-law is nervous for her mother's estate. So says the Gemara, if that is the svara, it's the exact same svara by father-in-law's daughter. It's not a 6th case, it's the same case. So maybe that would be a reason it is included in for the Gemara does not have a conclusive answer. But ask the Gemara on the din of the Mishnah of Anan Tanan, 3 lines from the white lines. Chutz mi sheva nashim. We learned in a brayso 7 women. Explains the Gemara. He Rav Yehudi. The Tanan Rav Yehuda Ma'asav of Ishes Av veHakala. Rav Yehuda adds on the stepmother and the daughter-in-law. Amrulai. The Rabbanan said to Rav Yehuda, Ishes Av Arei Bechlal Basabal. Kala Arei Bechlal Chamasai. As the Rabban and Rav Yehuda, you're just reaffirming that which we just said. That when you're telling me the stepmother is the same thing as a stepdaughter, and daughter-in-law is the same thing as the mother-in-law, it's the same relationship. So inherently the Mishnah did include it. Explains the Gemara, Rav Yehuda, Bishlam Chama said the Sanyalei. Lekala, I understand the mother-in-law hates the daughter-in-law, the Amra Kachlan Legersani. She's consuming everything of my son or husband. Elakala. My time is why should the daughter-in-law hate the mother-in-law? I understand this stepdaughter, the Sani Leisha's Av, Tomer Kalchan Legersani. Dim Ela Isha's Av, my time is Sani Lebesabal, Elamai Moisif. So explains the Gemara, Elamai Moisif, Tarti. Excuse me, let's go back. I read that incorrectly. Excuse me. Bishlama, one more time. Bishlama, here it is. Meisabal, the Sani Leisha's Av. I understand that when the stepdaughter hates the stepmother, why? Again, because she says that the husband's going to be eating up my mother's entire estate. There it is. That's the problem. The gersani de aim. That's how you read it. There you go. Why would the stepmother hate the stepdaughter? Ella says the Gemara, my moisif tarti. But if Yudah says no reason that the stepmother hates the stepdaughter, daughter-in-law to hate the mother-in-law, why then are these two cases listed in the Mishnah? They go hand in hand. Ella, Rav Yudah explains, Kala my time is sending the chamas and the mother-in-law. The megala b'na called the avis ishes called the avda. Because she reveals to her husband, her son, everything that she says. Because she also reveals to her father everything that she does. The Rabbanan arguing, they hold how you treat them, they're going to treat you. There is no difference. And therefore, the Rabbanan hold that once the Mishnah teaches us the mother-in-law hates the daughter-in-law, there's going to be a reflexive relationship that the daughter-in-law will hate the father-in-law, the mother-in-law as well, excuse me. Rav Yehuda, what does he say? When do we say such a concept? It's only b'divrei Torah, but not in all feelings, not in all relationships. So continues the Gemara, 2 lines at the end of the Amid, Amar Rav Acha bar Avia Abayi b'Marava, they ask the following fundamental shayla. What is the halacha if the mother-in-law comes in the future? Meaning, is she believed, if this woman is not currently the mother-in-law, but is she believed to say testimony about one of these cases? Do we say that it's within her mind that maybe the husband's Yevam's going to die, the husband's going to die, and she's going to be involved in the Yibam, therefore she hates her? Or not? So how far-fetched are we concerned to ask the Gemara as we turn over to Amid Beis, Tashema? Omra meiz baili vacha meiz chami tinasei v'titach ksuba v'chamasa yasura, and the mother-in-law is asur. My type of chamasa yasura la misham da'armina lo baila meiz lo chamia meiz. Isn't the reason not because we say that perhaps really neither the mother, the husband, nor the father-in-law died? Ay v'atigamar achi. So why did she say they both die? She wants to mess up her mother-in-law. She thought after the time my husband comes back, she's going to come and harass me. Says the Gemara, no raya dal mashani asam the argish lo tzaira, because you feel the pain. And again, the Mishnah does not push it the shayla. We continue in the Mishnah on Kuf Yud Zayin and Beis. Now we're going to go. We dealt extensively with the wife reporting, the husband reporting, the other people reporting. Now the question is, what if there's a contradiction between the words of a wife and Eid Echad about her husband, other Eid Echads, Shtei Eidim, etc. So it says the Mishnah, Eid Omer Meis V'Niseis. If an Eid comes in and says her husband died, so she gets remarried. And then another Eid says, no, it's not true. She does not have to get divorced. Right, sounds very simple. 1 versus 1. The first one was already believed, so she doesn't have to get divorced. Of course, the Gemara will explain. Because it's 2 versus 1, 2 wins. Tina says she's allowed to get married for the mere fact that 2 people said the husband is no longer. So says the Gemara, let's delve into the first din of the Mishnah that we said she does not have to get a divorce. It sounds like when one Eid says the husband died, the other one says she doesn't die. If she got married already, she can stay married. What does it sound like if they didn't get married? Yeah, loitina say they're not allowed to get married. Ask the Gemara, whenever the Torah says one Eid has a believability and a credibility, it's considered in the eyes of the Torah as if there are 2 Eidim. And therefore, so says the Gemara, I don't understand. So the first Eid that comes in has the status, the power of 2 Eidim. A subsequent Eid shouldn't be able to do anything. Explains the Gemara, in a very simple case, not that we necessarily have the believability and the namanis of the first Eid, like Shnayim. We continue in the Gemara about 15 lines down, the two dots, Eid Omer Meis. The Mishnah said if one Eid said that they died and two said he did not die, then even if she already got married, she has to leave because there are two Eidim saying her husband is alive. Says Gemara Pshita, of course, one has no bearings when there are two Eidim in front of us. Explains the Gemara, talking about Psulei Eidos, the Tanya of Nechemia, Omer Kol Mag Shemin Torah Echad, Holach Acharoiv Deyois. Even when the Torah puts a believability onto one, we're still going to believe the majority. If there's two women giving Eidos about with one man, is as if Kishnei HaNoshim B'Shechad, if the status of two men. You never more powerful than that original Eid Echad. So says the Gemara, says the Gemara, I don't understand. Why don't we say that the case is that the woman came originally and she gave her Eidus, and now if after that woman gives her Eidus, which is believed, if two other women or two Eidim come in and say not, we should answer as follows. We're going to go by the majority of people there. But two women with never one man will never, even the fear of Nechemia, will not be able to trump the one man, and rather it will be a stalemate. It's as if it's a 50-50. And we conclude with today's share with the Gemara that says that two people said that the husband died. My Kamashlet says, what's the Chiddush? That's mamish the same case we just saw. It's the same case. Explains the Gemara, we have no raya that we even follow the majority of opinions, meaning that two women have a bigger level of credibility. Kamash Malon, that is the Chiddush of our Gemara and our Mishnah. So let's begin the next Mishnah, which continues this theme. Says the Mishnah, now it's not the woman herself, but there's two Eidim, two singular Eidim fighting in Bezdin. So one that says, I should say better, it's not two competing singular witnesses, rather they're two co-wives, two sarais. Rashi explains, one says that the husband dies, and one said not, says the Mishnah. But what happens if Achas Omer Meis, Achas Omer Neherag? One said the husband died, and one said he was killed. Says Rameir Omer, it's true, they're both saying the husband's not around, but they're disagreeing about what the story was. One said he was shot dead, and one said he died peacefully on his bed. Says Rameir Chidish. Because the two Eidim are fighting with each other, you're not allowed to believe them. Rav Yehuda, Rav Shimon Aimer, what do you mean? Both Eidim admit the husband's not here. One said he was killed, one said he's no longer, but they're both admitting to the basic pretense that the husband's not there. So it says Rav Yehuda and Rav Shimon, they do have a believability. Yinasu, Aydam, Remeis, Aydam, Remeis. Let's say it's Machlekes in singular Eidim themselves. You turn over to Kuftes, Kuf Yurchesam and Aleph. In that case, certainly you should not get married. I'll pick up for the Gemara in the next year.